In the headlines, Supreme Court upholds election of Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke. Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to rule on PDP's motion seeking live broadcast of proceedings. NLC, TUC agree to suspend industrial action in Imo State. And on the international scene, forest search resumes for Kenyan death cult victims of highly organized crime. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sagir Ibrahim. Now the news in detail. The Supreme Court on Tuesday dismissed an appeal by the APC governorship candidate in Osun election, Adegboyega Oyetola, for lack of merit. The Apex Court also upholds the appeal court judgment of the 2022 governorship election dispute, which validates the victory of Governor Ademola Adeleke, just as it described the lower tribunal judgment as a nullity. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari has urged residents of Osun State to team up with Governor Ademola Adeleke to build up the state. In a statement on Tuesday, presidential spokesman Femi Adesina said the president recognized Tuesday's verdict of the Supreme Court on the July 16, 2022 governorship election in Osun State, as well as the important role of the judiciary in deepening rule of law and democracy. With the final decision by the court, the president reminded the political class and their supporters that the main task at hand is to make the people feel the impact of good governance, where a prosperous, peaceful and stable Osun is guaranteed. He therefore urged all citizens and residents of the state, particularly her notable sons and daughters, to give the government of Ademola Adeleke all the support it needs to ensure that programs, policies, plans and aspirations fashioned to make individuals and businesses flourish succeed. Also, the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal has adjourned matters brought before it by the People's Democratic Party challenging the election of President-elect Bola Tinubu to May 11, 2023. The PDP lead counsel Chris Uche disclosed this while addressing journalists shortly after the adjournment.
Happily, the pre-hearing session has commenced in the Atiku PDP petition. All the necessary preliminary issues have been dealt with, and we also brought up the issue of the motion on notice which we filed and which we served on all the parties in the case, and that is the motion for the live televising of the proceedings in this case, because we consider these proceedings very, very critical and important to the nation, one in which every Nigerian is a stakeholder. So this motion will come up perhaps on Thursday when this matter is adjourned to. It's been expected that the other parties will file their responses so that the court take a decision on it. So we are coming back on Thursday.
Also, President-elect Bola Tinubu has asked the Presidential Election Tribunal to dismiss petition of the Allied People's Movement challenging his victory from the February 25th presidential election. At the pre-hearing session, the Allied People's Movement informed the court that they had filed a pre-hearing information sheet TF-008 and had adopted their submissions. Counsel to the President-elect Akin Olujimi told the tribunal that their response contains a prayer seeking the tribunal to dismiss the petition. Chairman of the panel, Justice Haruna Tamani, who adjourned the petition on Tuesday, asked parties to draw out the issues for determination. He also ordered that the parties should consider the documents they are objecting to and the ones they are not. The respondents, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, All Progressives Congress APC, the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his vice, Senator Kashim Shettima, as well as Kabiru Masari, told the court they have filed the various answers to the questions in the petition. The tribunal adjourned pre-hearing in the petition till 11th of May. Also, Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri has sworn in Justice Hafsat Abdurrahman as the first female substantive state chief judge of the state. Also sworn into office at the occasion include Ibrahim Sudi and Audu Balami as State Grand Qadi Sharia Court of Appeal and President Customary Court of Appeal. The three justices were appointed in acting capacity in 2022 before their confirmation by the State House of Assembly. Governor Fintiri said the new chief judge is a consummate judge who rose through the ranks with an unblemished record in her years of service and substantive judgments to her belt. The new Chief Judge, Justice Hafsat Abdurrahman, saluted the governor for acting promptly on the recommendations of the National Judicial Council.
Serve the judiciary and build more confidence in the system if only you and your colleagues are reminded of the dictates of your oaths in the course and in every day's conduct. Your Lordship, you are coming at a time when the need to stick to the dictates of your oath isn't only compelling to your individual personalities, but badly needed to safeguard the image of an institution you have given the best part of your life to.
I and my colleagues pledge to do our best in promoting the cause of justice in the state, in accordance with the dictates of judicial and justice.
In insecurity, operatives in Anambra State have killed 2 gunmen and also arrested members of a robbery gang. The development followed joint operations by the police and vigilantes, according to a Tuesday statement from the Anambra police spokesman, Ikenga Tubechukwu. The statement said during a gun duel with the criminals, the operatives demobilized 2 of the gang members while 2 others escaped. According to the statement, efforts are already in place to arrest other fleeing gang members. He noted that earlier on the same day, police operatives at Azu Ogunike, Onyi Council area of the state, arrested members of a 4-man armed robbery gang while they were vandalizing a truck suspected to have been stolen. Items recovered are 2 locally made explosives, 1 AK-47 rifle, 9 live 7.62 ammunition, 4 AK-47 magazines, charms, and other incriminating items. Also, 7 people have been confirmed dead in Kano after drinking a tea mixed with local concoction. The incident occurred during a ceremony.
It was on this exact spot a wedding tea was boiled on Sunday, May 7th, during which unidentified number of youth were set. Popularly known as Zakami, with some intoxicating drugs as part of celebration.
We believe that someone used the opportunity to put Zakami in the tea, which was drunk by many people. After drinking the tea, 2 people died instantly. There are many people whom we don't know where they are at the moment. Some of them are still in the hospital. And the bad aspect of it is that the bride is my sister.
According to residents, so far 7 people have been killed, several others hospitalized, about 8 are unaccounted for, presumably missing after taking the tea.
This is usually happening among guys. They came with different drugs, and each one puts the kind of drugs he used inside the tea. The first day, 2 to 3 people died, but as of today, we have 7 dead.
Although there is no official statement from health-related authorities as to the types of drugs used during the wedding, but eyewitnesses confirmed that the incident took place in celebration of a friend's wedding on that very Sunday.
Anytime you mix this kind of drugs, you must expect a problem, because these guys mix drugs which cannot be consumed by an ordinary man. Therefore, I can tell you that many guys drank that tea. Some of them are currently dead. Some of them are still in the hospital.
All attempt to speak with the groom, who was said to be among the victims, was not successful. However, many of the victims are currently receiving treatment in various hospitals across Kano State. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, and the 4 local airlines have reached agreement on airlift of Nigerian pilgrims for Hajj 2023. The airlines had last week failed to sign the agreement for the airlift of pilgrims due to the conflict in Sudan that would require the airlines to follow an alternative route, thereby increasing the journey to Saudi Arabia. Representatives of the airlines factored the additional financial cost they would incur, as financial agreements had already been concluded before the conflict started. But at the rescheduled signing on Thursday at the NACON office in Abuja, the 4 airlines, aero contractors, Air Peace, Asman Air and Max Air finally signed the agreement without any changes, according to the chairman of the commission, Zikrullah Hassan. Airlift of intending pilgrims is expected to commence soon ahead of commencement of the June Hajj rituals. Also, the national leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress have agreed to suspend their ongoing industrial action in Imo State to enable peaceful resolution of all outstanding issues. The decision is contained in a memorandum of understanding between the Imo State government and the unions. According to the MOU, which was signed by the Secretary to the government of Imo State and Attorney General of the state on the government side, and the 4-man delegate sent from the national leadership of NLC and TUC, the tripartite committee will look into the areas of disagreement and resolve them expeditiously. Both parties, however, condemned the circumstances that led to the alleged disruption of the NLC delegate conference and the alleged disruption of the May Day celebrations, and pledged to ensure peaceful conduct of the activities of the NLC and TUC in the state. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Still to come. How artificial intelligence helps farmers. This and more when we return. Do stay. Welcome back. If you're just joining, you're watching News Update on Trust TV. Now, recap of our major stories. Supreme Court upholds election of Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke. Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to rule on PDP's motion seeking live broadcast of proceedings. Moving on, it is about 2 months after the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, directed commercial banks to issue the old Naira notes to Nigerians after the Supreme Court judgment directing the CBN to that effect. With the execution of both at the court and CBN orders, cash in circulations has increased and queues in banks and POS have drastically reduced. In Gombe State, point-of-sale operators say they are experiencing low patronage as customers have resorted to mobile banking and cash withdrawal in bank branches. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
This is one of the most patronized point-of-sale tents located along the Gombe-Bauchi Road in Gombe State capital. During the transition from the old to new Naira notes, Joy Nukan attended to more than 150 customers daily. But as the banknotes become more available, patronage has drastically reduced.
They want to withdraw 10,000, maybe the 10,000 is 100 Naira or 200. They prefer to go to bank and withdraw there, you understand? They prefer to carry machine from here to bank and withdraw, you understand? For them to come and pay that charge to us, it's better for them to carry machine and waste their money to go and withdraw from the bank. Coming back slowly, so now it's going on, but after the cashless policy, like a lot of customers, but not anymore, it's coming low.
While POS operators complain of low patronage, some Nigerians speak on their preferred methods of transaction.
I was in the POS joint to collect money, and I've already been adapted to it due to that cashless policy. Nowadays, I don't feel like going to ATM or bank to go and collect my money because I know sometimes it's waste of time to transfer myself to bank or to ATM to join the queue. I used to feel it's just waste of time. For me to join those queues is rather for me to come to POS people to collect my money in this short period of time and move on with my daily activities.
I am afraid Nigerians will face another difficulties if the new notes are not available. I'm advising the incoming president to remember the hardship faced by Nigerians and address the problem. On the flip side, others complain of scarcity of the new Naira notes, raising fears that if appropriate authorities fail to make the new banknotes available before the end of the year, Nigerians will be forced to further financial difficulties that is akin to or worse than when the old notes cease to be legal tender.
There is new Naira notes, but it's mixed with the old one actually. Yes, and the old Naira note is more than the new Naira note.
It could be recalled that the Supreme Court had ruled that the old Naira notes will continue to be legal tender until the 31st December 2023, but it is not clear if the incoming administration of the President-elect Bola Tinubu may have a different policy on the matter. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The Smart Agricultural Farming Initiative is a technology-driven approach to farming that leverages the power of data, analytics, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things to optimize agricultural production and reduce the impact of climate change on farming activities. With the help of technology and improved seedlings that are climate change resilient, farmers in Katsina are expecting to overcome the challenges of unpredictable weather patterns and water scarcity. Jamil Mabai has more on how these innovations are going to transform the lives of irrigation farmers. Take a look.
Chile, our pride, no longer grows here. Nothing has changed in the farmlands. Same soil, but chili has stopped growing in our area.
This is Abdulhamidu Mezabura describing how chili stops growing in his farmland in Ajiwa Dam, a one-time hub for chili in Katsina State. For 3.5 decades, this is his only business, but with continuous decline in soil fertility due to climate change, Mezabura is thinking of migrating for the first time in his life.
I am one of the leading chili farmers here. Irrigation farming is the only thing we know, and we are facing a huge threat. Nothing brings us money like chili when you compare it to other produce.
Increased cutting down of trees for domestic purposes and environmental degradation are some of the factors that expose their farmlands to soil erosion. Thousands of families relied on irrigation farming as their source of income in Ajiwa community. Reduction in yields means reduction in their income.
We will be out of work. Our family size have increased. The income have reduced and inflation have increased.
25 kilometers away from Ajiwa town, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDDA, has launched an initiative aimed at promoting smart agricultural farming in Katsina State. The Smart Agricultural Farming Initiative will help farmers to use technology to improve their yields, reduce waste, and increase their income.
The concept of this smart agriculture is to integrate the technology in terms of precision to the agricultural climate change. Technology will help us in terms of pursuing some kind of innovation so that we will reduce the impact of climate change and find a way so that we can have a better yield and improve varieties.
Powered using solar energy, smart farming will involve the use of drones, sensors, and artificial intelligence to monitor crops, soil moisture, and weather conditions. This will enable farmers to make informed decisions about when to plant, irrigate, and harvest their crop. Jamil Mobai, reporting for Trust TV, Katsina.
Also, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has read the Riot Act to shipping companies exporting undocumented cargoes from the shores of the country. Emefiele sent out this note of warning at the RT200 Non-Oil Export Summit 2023 on Tuesday in Abuja. While speaking on the theme Challenges and Prospects to Success, he detailed the importance of diversifying from oil exports. The Apex Bank governor warned exporters who disregarded several warnings to follow due process in ensuring their documentation meet the needed criteria for export. Enumerating the successes of the RT200, Emefiele revealed that earnings from the non-oil export increased by 40% from $3 billion in 2021 to $5.6 billion at the end of 2022. And on the international scene, Kenyan investigators have resumed the search for members of a doomsday cult in a forest where more than 100 corpses have been exhumed. The Interior Minister said on Tuesday, describing them as victims of a highly organized crime. Paul Mackenzie, the leader of the Good News International Church, is in custody, accused of ordering followers to starve their children and themselves so they could go to heaven before the end of the world, which he said would come on April 15th. He has not yet been required to enter a plea. His lawyer, George Kiriuki, said Mackenzie was cooperating with the police. Mackenzie wants the investigation not to be one-sided by focusing on him. The search operation in Shakahola Forest in southern Kenya had been suspended for a few days because of bad weather, with hundreds of people still reported missing. And in sports, Ikorodu City coach Sodiq Dabiri is optimistic that his side has the ability to come out victorious in their Federation Cup clash against Kwara United. The Oga Boys will play Nigeria Premier League side Kwara United in the round 32 tie of the Federation Cup at the Oshogbo Township Stadium on Wednesday. Dabiri, who said his players are ready and motivated for the battle ahead, added that his team is ready to pull one of the surprise results of the round of 32. Ikorodu City defeated Crusaders FC 3-0 in the previous round. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update at this hour. Do well to follow us across all our media platforms. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.